Hello everyone. Kia ora tātou katoa, no mai haere mai. Welcome to our introductory video today to provide a glimpse into the way of the sacred feminine, who we are and what our inspired work is all about. I am Kanita and today I will be interviewing Elisabeth von Madarasz. Elisabeth is one of the 22 women who participated in the pilot of the Way of the Sacred Feminine. Elisabeth, welcome to our introductory session.
Thank you, Kanita. It is a great honour and joy to be invited. Thank you.
Oh, blessings, blessings, sister. I have a few questions that I'd like to ask you about your experiences during the pilot phase. I know it's a perfect time for us to pause and reflect on our journey, given it was in 2017 at the beginning of the year that we embarked on the pilot. And particularly as a number of our sisters who graduated from the pilot, like you, are about to go on and start new Way of the Sacred Feminine constellations over the next few months. So welcome. This video is for women who are potentially thinking about embarking on this incredible journey of self-discovery and transformation. And before we do start, can I remind women that Way of the Sacred Feminine has been designed as a two-part program. So the first is the Journey of Self, which is our foundational course over 22 weeks. And following that, the Loving Heart's Leadership. It's our 8-week course about compassionate, conscious leadership, and it's for those women who have completed the journey of self and wish to take this inspired work out into their community. It's very exciting. So Elisabeth, in your strong interest, I can sense it, that the rising of the sacred feminine is very dear and near to you. I'd like to start us off today with the question, what is your spiritual purpose in facilitating the Way of the Sacred Feminine courses?
Thank you, Kanita. Yes, I'm passionate about this, and my passion is based on knowing that this is one of the spiritual contracts I made when I first came to the earth at the dawn of humankind, was to be priestess, goddess, nun, women of power, teaching, sharing, healing throughout our evolution as humanity. And I know that I contracted to come this time to bring that and close that hoop of all the stages that we've had, going through the matrilineal, then the patrilineal. Now it is time for us women to let go of all the old conditioning, traumas that we've had in many lifetimes, including this one, so that we can move forward in the fullness of our power with all that we are and is encoded within us, showering and radiating brightly, so that we can co-create the new earth with our divine men, this time in harmony, balance, honor, and respect, because nothing less will create the new earth and the new systems and structures that are now in the process this year of really beginning to evolve. The last years have been about dissolving the old structures, and we can see that in the chaos in the world around us. And so it's great joy to me to be part of this movement this year of us launching this glorious mahi work of Great Mother, the Way of the Sacred Feminine. Thank you.
Fabulous answer, Elisabeth. All-encompassing, I can see that. And in fact, you've answered two of my next questions, so thank you so much. And in sharing about some of those beautiful feminine qualities you've just expressed, what were the highlights for you in participating in the Way of the Sacred feminine program?
The highlights for me were working with the most glorious circle of women from around the world. I founded the Academy of Shamanic Studies 30 years ago, and I've always done things on my own. So this is the first time that I've been in this glorious co-creation, which is, this now time requires that, not to do things alone. And so the wise women who are holding this new pilot I just love, honor, and respect the purity of their vision and intent. And all the sisters that were part of the pilot study were so inspiring. And so this is a beautiful, beautiful way to change the world.
Yes. Would you say that this program was challenging for you? And if so, what were the areas that stretched you the most?
What stretched me the most, and yes, it was challenging, was my own stuff that arose. And I've been passionately on the spiritual path for, well over 30 years. And what I found was the power of our co-creation brought up the deepest unconscious residues that I hadn't seen before or thought I had dealt with. And so it went down deep. And so that was painful at times to embrace and love and accept and release. And it was perfect, and I welcomed it, and I'm so grateful for it, because I would not be moving into this new year on the high frequency that I am to co-create this beautiful new work if I hadn't gone through that process. And so I'm saying that doesn't matter how long you've been on the spiritual path and how much you've evolved, there's usually still deep, hidden, unlike energies that are too dense to carry forward. And it's an opportunity to bring them up. Very gently, in a very loving, compassionate, accepting circle.
Yes, and one of the other aspects about this program is that it is online. So it's an online course using Zoom. And did you feel any less connected than being physically present in the room with other participants? Did you still sense that power of transformation happening even though you're online?
I'm a very huggy feeling, passionate Hungarian. And so, yes, I did miss that I couldn't hug anybody, because I just, so much love and compassion arose as each of us brought our deepest, darkest selves at times, as well as our glorious divine light selves, to the circle. And so I missed that, and I found it made no difference to the power of the transformation, because what I found was the beautiful way that this has been constructed, deeply inspired by Great Mother, I feel, is that we were given a theme on the first day of each week. And on that first day I read the theme and I said, beloved ones, please help me to evoke whatever doesn't serve me still around this theme. And what I found was non-stop throughout the week, situations arose absolutely pertinent to that theme. So that by the time we came to the circle sharing on the 7th day, all these insights, all this density had already come up. So I was primed magnificently. And then when we shared in circle what we were doing, I felt like there was this great chalice in the middle of our circle spiritually. Mm-hmm. And each of our sharings from the core of our being went into this sacred chalice of Great Mother. And I found that whatever other people shared, every single one, it was like, oh yes, that's me too. And so that also went into the chalice, even though I'd only just recognized it. Mm-hmm. And so we were creating a magnetic field. And with the loving acceptance that each one of us shared and received each other's pain at times, as well as glorious transformations. And alchemy occurred. And it was like this divine spark just went whoosh, and it was transmuted. And so I was able to move forward from that into the next theme and the next and the next and the next. And I know now, as I sit in the very beginning of this new year, I could not be who I am and the vibration that I am without that process that was profoundly transformative, more transformative than decades of my own spiritual path. And it was joyous, and it was loving, and it was compassionate. So it was not done through processing and dwelling on pain. So that's the new way for this time.
And it sounds like that new way is well encapsulated in the Way of the Sacred Feminine program, and certainly one of the strengths of the program. I also sense from your sharing, Elisabeth, that you've done a considerable amount of work over the years in terms of personal development work and healing work, shamanic work, before you joined the course. Is it necessary for women to have that background? What would you say to women who are looking to participate in the Way of the Sacred Feminine, that perhaps don't come from the same sort of set of experiences and trainings that you have?
I feel that the only prerequisite is the passionate yearning to change and evolve. That's all that's required. And the willingness to take responsibility for whatever comes up in the process and learn, as we demonstrate in our weekly meetings, to love and accept all that we are, the darkest and the lightest, as my sisters do. Accept me. And so that to me is the core. And I felt more comfortable because I had more tools for this, but I feel as an opening for women, I can't imagine a gentler way of unfolding their spiritual evolution than being held by a group of exquisite, loving, compassionate, wise women that we each are, whether we know that or not, and being held by Great Mother, by the Holy Mothers throughout infinity, and all the divine ascended women who have co-created this path ahead of us and now hold us as this new arrowhead for this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Elisabeth. I could sit here all evening listening to you. And in fact, my last question you touched on beautifully and summarised it in what you just said. So I think it's time now to bring our interview to an end. I'll give you an opportunity just to say something in closing, if you would like, about the Way of the Sacred Feminine program, and any pearls of wisdom that you wish to share. And then I'd like to close if we could.
Thank you, Kanita. I have profound gratitude as well as honor and respect for the beauty of the program. It begins and evolves very, very gently from one step to the next, going deeper and deeper, wider. And so we are held throughout this spiritual journey. So whether we are new to the path or like me of many decades, the end result, the fruition of that, and I'm told that I'm now greatly in the fifth dimension and somewhat in the sixth dimension, whereas at the end of last year I was more in the fourth and just approaching the fifth. So that's the leap that I've made. And so that it's to surrender and trust and be passionately willing to see what is unlike, that is unrising, to embrace, love it so it can just be dissolved.
Beautiful, thank you.
Welcome, welcome all those who join us in the sacred dance of Great Mother for her divine plan unfolding. Thank you.
It is a sacred dance indeed, Elisabeth. Thank you so much for sharing your time, your experiences, your truth and wisdom. Amazing. And I truly appreciate getting to know you in this short time tonight. So thank you, and lovely to spend time here with you. And that's a wrap from us at Way of the Sacred Feminine. You can find more information on our website and on our Facebook page, both under the name of Way of the Sacred Feminine. Good evening. Thank you, Elisabeth.
Thank you for the joy and privilege. Thank you.
Blessings.